Welcome to all of our childhood cancer survivors and families. Welcome families who have lost children to childhood cancer. Welcome city dignitaries and all our fabulous supporters. I'm so thrilled that you are all here. And thank you, Mayor Hobbs, for inviting us and for standing with us as we work for greater awareness and better treatments for childhood cancer, the disease that kills more children after the age of 1 than any other. Before my daughter Bronwyn was diagnosed in 2012, I thought childhood cancer was rare. So I was surprised to discover in 330 children will be diagnosed with cancer before the age of 20. I was even more surprised when just recently the American Cancer Society upgraded that stat to 1 in 285. So not only is childhood cancer not rare, it is on the rise. I also learned that childhood cancer has a 75% survival rate. And in the cancer world, that's pretty good. I was really impressed until I dug a little deeper and tore that statistic apart. First, this is an average for all childhood cancers. There are 12 major types of childhood cancer, and each has multiple subtypes. And many of those cancers only show up in children or very rarely in adults. The most common by far is ALL, acute lymphatic leukemia, with a 90% survival rate. But after that, the rates drop drastically from 60 to 50 to 30, even 10%. And DIPG, a type of brain cancer that only shows up in children, has a 0% survival rate. Then I discovered that survival rates are only counted up to 5 years post-diagnosis. That's 5 years. What is the question that we like to ask children? What do you want to be when you grow up? We are always encouraging children to dream big and think about the future. 5 years is just not enough to base the success of a children's treatment. The average loss of life years when a child dies of cancer is 71. There are no words to adequately describe what it is like to watch your child go through the hellish torture of cancer treatment. But it is still nothing compared to watching her fight for her life due to the side effects of chemo. And last summer, St. Jude's published the results of a study they did on survivorship. They discovered, to their surprise, that 98% of survivors will have at least one chronic health condition, such as new cancers, lung and heart abnormalities, or neurocognitive dysfunctions due to treatment. 80% will have life-threatening or disabling chronic condition by the age of 45, and my Bronwyn is already in that 80%. We are so grateful to have her. We know we're lucky. She has survived spectacularly and done so well, but her life is going to be complicated. Survivorship is great, but quality of life must be considered. After all, we are talking about children. Children that we hope will live many years to chase down their hopes and dreams. In the world of childhood cancer, I know too many children who are instead checking off bucket lists. Families who are doing all they can to create lasting memories. Parents who are helping their child through their last days, enveloped in love and comfort. And communities who are mourning the loss of yet another child to cancer, like Jasmine Robertson of Thunder Bay, who passed on Sunday. Because despite the persistent belief that childhood cancer is rare and that the survival rates are good, cancer still remains the #1 killing disease of children after infancy. We must ask ourselves, is this the best we can do? And absolutely not. The advances in cancer research are amazing right now. There is so much more that can be done. The problem is very little of the billions being spent on research is targeted to childhood cancers. Cancer in children is just different from adults. It behaves differently, it reacts to treatment differently. We don't even know why children get cancer, but it's not for the same reasons adults do. Research for adult cancers does little to help children, and the harsh treatments are damaging on growing bodies. Yet history has shown that research for childhood cancer benefits adults. So how do we get the powers that be to invest more in our children? Awareness. History has also shown that awareness leads to more money being spent on research, better recovery rates, better survivorship. And I can't fully explain to you how proud I am to be here today, to watch our mayor declare Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Thunder Bay and raise the flag. I am so proud to see the gold and the crowds, the support here. I was bursting with pride last September as I watched from Toronto everything that was being done here in Thunder Bay to raise awareness and be a voice for our children. The support we have received from Thunder Bay through fundraisers, and I mean amazing fundraisers, gifts, cards, and support on our Facebook page have been incredible. At first we thought this was normal for a community to help out like you have, but we have talked to many families affected by childhood cancer, and I know it's the cliche, but I have just got to say it. Thunder Bay really is superior by nature. Another great supporter is the Northern Ontario Families of Children with Cancer. The NOFCC is a nonprofit organization that serves families across Northwestern Ontario of children who are diagnosed with cancer. There is no treatment for children in Thunder Bay. Anybody who's diagnosed has to travel. The costs are enormous. They continue to help us financially, and they are helping to spread awareness. In fact, it was Dana of the NOFCC that got us all together here today. So, without further ado, I would love to introduce to you my hero, my inspiration, a girl of incredible strength and beauty inside and out, the girl who waited, Bronwyn Huffman.
Imagine this. You're 14. You dance, you curl, you got your whole life ahead of you. You read books by the series, you watch your favorite movies so many times you can quote them. You hang out with your friends at rodeos, at your favorite store, at each other's homes, cooking, playing games, and talking. Talking about all the things and people you love, your hopes and your dreams. Then you get sick. It's just a cold, so you go on. You dance a few recitals, you curl a bit, but then 2 months passed and your cold still hasn't gone away. So your mom takes you to your family doctor. The next thing you know, you're being rushed to the Children's Hospital in London. You have cancer. Your life has been put on hold. You can't do the things you love. You can't see your friends. The only people you see are the doctors, the nurses, and your mom. You don't even know if you'll survive. I don't have to imagine it. That happened to me. On January 15th, 2012, I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, AML. This is a tricky leukemia to treat, so the protocol is to hit it with a lot of leukemia and with a lot of chemo in a short period of time. This meant I would not be going home for several months. Going through cancer treatment is like the worst you have ever been sick for 4 months straight. Nausea, headaches, tired, cranky, mad, lonely, isolated, homesick, and then it gets worse. One day, my chest hurt. On May 16th, I suffered chemo-induced cardiomyopathy, heart failure. The chemo that killed my cancer was now trying to kill me. I was airlifted to Sick Kids in Toronto and hooked up to a lot of heart medication. A mask was put on my nose to help me breathe. I was kept dehydrated and was too weak to move. My heart function was 20%, but my blood counts were too low to be put on life support. Because of the cancer, I would not qualify for a heart transplant for 2 years. The doctor said I had about 2 weeks left, and that wasn't enough time for my blood counts to recover. So having heart failure is painful, breathless, thirsty, tired, scary. I surprised everyone when my blood counts jumped to normal levels. And on June 3rd, in a 4-hour open heart surgery, a small heart pump, called a VAD, was placed inside my heart. For 675 days, a driveline from the VAD stuck out of my abdomen on a battery pack. Having a VAD is a relief, hopeful, exhausting, annoying, and frustrating. I still couldn't come home because there's no VAD center in Thunder Bay. I had to stay in Toronto until I qualified for a heart transplant on January 15th, 2014. I was told the wait for a heart would be at least a year, so I was so surprised when I got the call on April 9th for my heart transplant. This surgery took 7.5 hours, but my new heart is a perfect fit. I can't thank my donor and their family enough. This heart has given me new life, and it meant I could finally go home. Staying in Toronto for 2 years was hard. Seriously, it sucked. I did make a few new friends and did some cool stuff, but none of that can compare to coming back home to Toronto, to Thunder Bay. The weather here is beautiful. Toronto is so hot. The people here are great. So many of you helped us when we were in Toronto with fundraisers. It's so great, and it's so great seeing the stars again. You just don't know how wonderful it is here until you can't be here. I'm thankful to be here. Surviving is a privilege, but my life is forever changed. I will always have health issues related to my treatment and the heart transplant. I don't want any other kid to go through what I have. That is why I want to do whatever I can to raise awareness. We need better treatments for the kids who will be told today that they have cancer. Thank you for being here and showing your support to survivors like me and those yet to be diagnosed. Thank you.